Alton Towers has faced a very challenging 2024 season, with numerous issues such as poor ride availability along with noticeable downgrades and budget cuts across the park. However, the end of the 2024 season ended on a high note with one of the best firework events the park has ever seen. This created a glimpse of hope that the park could be moving in the right direction for the 2025 season. This hope was also created by the near-complete installation of Project Ocean, a Huss top spin located in Forbidden Valley next to the Blade. Once open, this will mark the first permanent flat ride added to the park in a very long time, as over the last decade the park has been removing flat rides such as Enterprise, but not replacing them with anything permanent. Forbidden Valley's lineup will now feature 2 roller coasters with Nemesis Reborn and Galactica, along with 1 dark ride with Nemesis Subterra, and finally 2 flat rides, Toxicator, the Top Spin, and the Blade. Altogether, these 5 rides will allow for everyone over 1 meter to have a ride that suits their thrill level, all contained in one area, along with this part of the park being able to handle the busy crowds and disperse them evenly, shortening the wait times for the rest of the park. Alton Towers, however, had a different idea, instead to remove the Blade after 44 years of operation, along with the removal of 2 other rides, the first being the Alton Tower Dungeons, which were an upcharge attraction but did take a decent amount of crowds away from the park, and the nearby Flavio's Fabulous Fandango. Stupid name, which is also being removed, which is concerning seeing as it is one of the most popular attractions in David Williams' world. Both the Dungeons and the Twister, I ain't saying that name again, were both expected to leave the park eventually. This is due to the Dungeons being turned into a scare maze for Scarefest, and the Twister is rented out from a showman which Alton Towers has to pay a large figure to every single year. But no one expected the Blade to close this year. The Blade had been operating for 44 years, originally opening back in 1980 and becoming one of the park's most well-loved and well-known rides, especially to younger audiences. It is extremely disappointing from Alton Towers to not give the Blade a proper send-off, as unlike the other 2 attractions, the Blade will actually be missed, as the Blade has been at Alton Towers for almost the same time the park has existed, and because of these 44 years of operation, millions of people have been able to ride the Blade and fall in love with it. So it's extremely disappointing to see there was no announcement of the Blade's closure before the end of the 2024 season to give those who have fallen in love with the ride a chance to ride it one last time. And the park had the perfect opportunity to announce it if they wanted to wait till the end of the season, and that would be at the Phalanx Expo during the fireworks event, taking inspiration to what they did in 2022 with Nemesis when that closed, instead of dumping all the information about the ride's closing on their social medias and blog website after the season had ended. What's very strange about the sudden closure of the Blade is the fact the park had been consistently investing into the Blade, refurbishing many parts of it to keep it running. Alton Towers did this on most of the closed seasons, including the closed season before the 2024 season, where they replaced most of the mechanical parts on the Blade. These constant investments, including refurbishing the ride's boats, replacing supports, adding new parts, and upgrading mechanical parts, make everyone think that Alton Towers were committed to keeping the Blade. But now, it seems unfortunately the investments are being stopped and the ride is being retired. Personally, I think removing the Blade is one of the worst choices the park has made in recent years. The ride was one of the best family rides in the park, which Alton Towers doesn't have a lot of. The ride only had a 1 meter height restriction, which is something the rest of the park, other than CBeebies Land, is really lacking. Most of the park ranges from 1.2 to 1.4 meter tall height restrictions, already limiting the amount of rides someone under 1.2 meters can go on at the resort. And now with the Blade gone, this just makes the issue even worse. All 3 of these rides, no matter how big or small they were, they all took in some of Alton Towers' capacity, which is an issue the park has been faced with for quite a while now, especially this year with the amount of maintenance issues the park has been having with multiple rides being shut at once. Removing these 3 rides and only having 1 replacement for the 2025 season is a very weird choice, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out into next year's capacity. However, these rides need to be added now, as the park operating with 2 less rides capacity than normal for the next couple of years will have its impact. The park will struggle and the guest experience will get worse. It really is a shame for the future of Alton Towers to be looking like this, especially after the hope gained at the end of the 2024 season. But it seems Alton Towers is continuing its decline, with rides being removed without being replaced, with plans like Project Horizon almost being confirmed to have been moved to Chessington, and the Dungeons building, which is perfect for a new dark ride, not having anything planned for it yet, once again leaving it abandoned. With Universal potentially coming to the UK in the upcoming years, Alton Towers needs to act now. They need to begin heavily investing in new rides to fill the voiding capacity they currently face, along with build new rides for younger audience and use prime space such as the Dungeons for new dark rides and new experiences, so they don't become outdated and overlooked in favour for Universal when it opens. But unfortunately at the moment, this just doesn't seem like something Alton Towers is prepared to do. So guys, what are your thoughts on these 3 rides closing? Personally, I think the Blaze should have just gotten the blue barnacle treatment and had the ride system removed and have an almost identical pirate ship replace it. This will allow the ride to keep on operating for many more years to come, allowing millions more to ride it and keep the capacity where it is in the park. But what do you think the park should do? Leave your ideas in the comments below. I love reading them and I love interacting with you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video if you made it all the way to the end. I've been a little bit burnt out from YouTube recently, and that's why the last upload was 3 weeks ago. But with all this happening, with 3 rides getting removed from Alton Towers, I just thought I'd jump on, make a quick video, because it is a little bit frustrating how they're removing more rides. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I normally don't ask for subscribers, but I am trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, consider subscribing. And apart from that, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Keep on dispatching.